Welcome to Soul 311, Study Session 6, Community Mobilization. Introduction. In this study session, we shall discuss the process of community mobilization in community organization. Community mobilization fosters community members' participation in community organization. Objectives. At the end of this study session, you should be able to discuss the process of mobilizing community members to solve their problems, examine the factors that enhance community mobilization. Mobilization consists primarily of movement, drives, or campaigns specifically designed to activate the masses into an accelerated process of change. Mobilization is an important tool in the planning and implementation of any program tailored towards community problems, according to Anyanwu 1992. Stated that it pertains to both human and material resources, as well as the psychological, physical, and attitudinal features that can be marshaled for development. The mobilization approach for a community development involves the pooling of the human and material resources of a people in measures designed for their betterment in their communities. It means the readiness of the people to commit their resources to find solutions to their problems. Advocacy for community mobilization. Advocacy is the process of sensitizing leaders and important stakeholders on the ways of getting their support and commitment towards the success of the program. It involves conducting advocacy meetings with influential people and groups who will play major roles in providing sustenance for the program. It is to seek their involvement and create awareness on the importance of the program. It is possible that the group might not have heard or known the importance of the program. Advocacy is an avenue to educate, inform, persuade the influential people and groups on the needs and the benefits of community organization. The targets for advocacy include government, traditional leaders and community leaders, religious leaders, women associations, community-based organizations, youth organizations, the media, etc. Importance of mobilization in community organization. 1. It promotes the participation of the people in solving social problems in the community. This means involvement of the people in the identification of felt needs, planning, and execution of projects. 2. It promotes changes in the pattern of life of the people. This can be assessed in terms of improving the life of the people. 3. It fosters cooperative attitudes among the citizens and enables collective action to solve their problems. 4. It arouses the interest of community members in the development of their community. It makes them believe that community organization is a necessity. 5. It creates awareness, education, knowledge, and ability to make people organize themselves to achieve a common goal. It makes them work towards improving their welfare. 6. It also makes the people readily available to accept new orientations, values, and ideas which are necessary for the development of the community. Conditions of mobilization. Awareness. Mobilization involves creating awareness of certain problems existing in the community which need urgent attention. Awareness might take a form of educating the people on what they do not know or perceive as a problem. It means that they have to be informed of the problem and told at the same time that the solution lies in their hands as they have the capacity to do this. Moreover, they need to know and understand that there are benefits to be derived if the problem is solved. Objectives. Mobilization should also have set out objectives. The goals of mobilization should be clear and precise. The goals which are achievable should prompt the people to participate in the programs for the betterment of their lives. At the end of the program, the objectives should be assessed to find out if they have actually been achieved. Arousal of interest. There should be an arousal of interest among the community members in the program. They need persuasion that they have capacity to bring about desirable changes in the community. This involves getting them aware of the existing problems and the benefit derivable from participation in solving the problem prevailing in the community. The interest will gear them towards participating in programs. Thus, human and material resources are put in place to ensure the success. Citizen participation. A successful mobilization hinges on citizen participation in order to create new ideas and resources in the community. It entails involvement of the local people in decision making, planning, and execution of the program. Mobilization means galvanizing the local people to participate in developing their community using local initiative. The active participation of the people will foster success in any program which they embark upon. It encourages self-help and utilization of human and material resources to utmost capacity. Leadership. In the quest for a successful mobilization, leadership is an essential tool. Members of the community look up towards their leaders to be at the forefront in community action and building. Thus, the leaders should be mobilized to accept the fact that changes in the community are crucial for development. The leaders are to encourage and sustain the process of mobilization that has taken place. In order to maintain the pace of development, leadership responsibilities will assist the community in the process of self-development. Communication network. Communication network, both internal and external, is vital in mobilization. At every stage of mobilization, communication is the main tool of success. Otherwise, the program will not take off. It is through communication that community members can be involved in the mobilization process. For mobilization to be effective, members of the community must have access to information which they need to identify and solve the problems. Agents of mobilization for development. The agents and organs of mobilization in community organization include the following: 1. Social worker. 2. Youth organizations like Boy Scout, Girls Guide. 3. Leaders of the community. 4. Government institutions and agencies, e.g. National Orientation. 5. National Youth Service Corps. 6. Non-governmental organizations. 7. Local associations such as market women and cooperative societies. 8. Social clubs like Lion Club, etc. 9. Professional organizations. 10. Religious institutions like churches and mosques. 11. The mass media, this radio, television, and newspaper. 12. Schools. Process of community mobilization. Mobilization for community organization entails adequate knowledge of the community where development is to take place. It therefore means that there should be adequate study of the people who are to be mobilized. The mobilization agency should know their culture, ways of life, means of communication, and the environment in which they operate. It is important to know the level of education and existing structure in the community. There should be accurate identification of the existing problems affecting the community. The people can only be mobilized if they are sure that their problems will be solved. The problem should be localized for the community in order to enlist their interests. It is also necessary to set certain goals or objectives for the mobilization. Is it for women empowerment? Is it to solve social menace? Is it for physical development of the community? Is it geared towards attitudinal change in the society? It is essential that the objective of the mobilization be measurable. The process in mobilization include adequate funding. The agency for the mobilization must make effort to provide equipment such as vehicles and other things. The funding should take care of the personnel involved in the exercise. Mobilization process should be coordinated by an agency that will be responsible for all the activities involved. Such agency should have trained personnel that are dedicated to duty. The personnel or staff should understand properly the meaning, purpose, and importance of social mobilization in that community. The agency should organize the process of induction and mobilization of people to accept necessary change. There should be inbuilt effective process of maintenance and evaluation of the program at every stage in order to adjust and correct flaws as the program is on board. The agency should work out the mode of operation in order to reach all members of the community. In essence, the community can be divided for operational purposes into local government, wards, villages, and so on. Mobilization methods in community development. Osuji 1992 identified 6 methods in the process of social mobilization. The methods are the open method, rural forum, instruction method, non-formal learning, group method, the participatory group method, and the direct information method. 1. Open method. Open method involves sending the message of mobilization to the people through mass media without organizing the people as an audience. It is with the view that once the message is clear and the program has merit, the audience will pick it up and utilize the message. In essence, there is no meeting between the audience and the agency. The problem of this method is that the intended audience might not pick up the information, or they may develop nonchalant attitude towards it even if they hear the message. Also, the agency and community members do not meet to share views on how to make the program a success. Number 2, the Rural Forum. The Rural Forum enables the agency and community members to meet and have discussion on the problems and process of mobilization. It involves the people taking part in discussion and decisions on the program. This process ensures the readiness for the people to participate in the mobilization process. It fosters their cooperation and interest in the program. 3. The instructional method involves a target group which has been specially organized for learning purposes. There are designated centers purposely for educating and mobilizing the group for the program. It should be noted that mobilization of this nature is not for generality of the people but educated individuals. 4. The non-formal learning group involves using the radio for educating and enlightening rural communities. Most of the audience is made up of illiterate rural dwellers that assemble in marked buildings for listening and learning. Other mode of mobilization in this regard is film. The community members are mobilized through the broadcast that highlights their problems and needs. 5. The participatory group method focuses on training the local leaders who are to motivate the members of the community towards taking action to develop their communities. The leaders are members of the communities and thus they understand the nature of their respective communities. It makes it easier to communicate with the people through their leaders. 6. The direct information method is the process of mobilizing the people through ministries, departments of information, and other government agencies. However, the direct information method has a little impact on a program due to attitude of people towards programs from the government. Problems of mobilization for community organization in Nigeria. A major problem in this regard is lack of adequate fund to provide the necessary information on the program to the people. The success of the program hinges highly on fund for supervision and monitoring of the program. More so, fund is necessary to support equipment, printing of information, and other uses. In Nigeria, mobilization is confronted with the problem of changing old habits of the people. Part of the problem emanating from culture, which makes people resistant to change and innovation. Hence, acceptance of values from social mobilization may be gradual. Bad leadership has been a major constraint in Nigeria. Many leaders pay lip service to mobilization. If leaders reject mobilization, it is difficult to persuade the followers to accept it because leadership dictates followership. One of the problems associated with the failure of Agency for Mass Mobilization for Economic Recovery, MAMSA, was the attitude of the leaders to social mobilization programs. There were interagency and interministerial rivalries and clashes due to the conflicting roles on social mobilization. For example, the Federal Ministry of Information and MAMSA had similar responsibilities on political education, while Mass Education Commission and MAMSA were both charged with responsibility on literacy. Poverty has been a major factor in inhibiting the interest of people in mobilization programs. Harsh economic measures on the part of the government often impoverish people and make them disinterested in many government programs. Government showing lack of commitment to the welfare of the citizenry makes people develop nonchalant attitude to programs even if it is of great benefit to the people. It is necessary to point out that a major obstacle to mobilization is selfish interest of many mobilization providers, that is, government and non-governmental organizations. Many officials and mobilization providers are more conscious of the monetary gain which comes to them from funds provided by government and international donors. For example, the Better Life for Rural Women, initiated by Mrs. Miriam Babangida, would have been a huge success if not that the elite women hijacked it. There were also interpersonal clashes among politicians and government officials because of fund. Summary: we have discussed community mobilization and factors affecting community participation in community organization. Post-test: examine the process of mobilization for participation in community organization. 2. What are the problems confronting social mobilization in Nigeria? This is the end of study session 6. Thanks for listening.